everyone, Karen here. Today I wanted to share with you a technique I've been playing around with. Now I'm going to tilt this forward and you're going to see that the flower and the hummingbird are raised on the paper. This was not done with an embossing folder, but it was done with the die cuts and the embossing mat that is in my die cut machine. And you can do this with any die. So let me get my materials together and show you how I did this. Alright, so what I'm going to use today is this Butterfly Delight from Crafter's Companion. And it doesn't matter which Stampin' Die set you're using, they're all going to work exactly the same. So I'm going to put that to the side. So the first thing you're going to do is decide what stamps and dies you're going to use. So I decided to use this long strip flower here and the little butterfly down here. So then I want you to cut 2 die cuts of the heaviest paper you have, and we're going to glue them together. We're going to stack them on top of each other, line them up. And if you have, when you do this and you don't get a good impression, try cutting out a 3rd piece of paper and gluing it on top. It may just depend on the thickness of the paper you have and a little bit on your machine. I will be using a Gemini today. So we'll let this dry. I'm going to put this on here. And make sure I'm not doing this backwards. Put some glue. This will go on here. Line it all up. And we will let this dry. All right, so once everything has had a chance to dry, you'll bring in your paper that you're going to be putting on your card and your 2 die cuts, and you're going to want your stamps at this point. So we're going to lay the stamps out the way you're going to want them. So I think I'm going to put this across the bottom, and I'm going to put the butterfly over here, and then I'm going to have a sentiment over here. Don't need the sentiment right now. So what we're going to do, so this is going to be on here, because you want to make sure you're not putting these on backwards. Okay? So this will be on here. And then this one, it really doesn't matter if it's going to go on backwards or not, because we'll be able to fix it. And this way. Goes on this way. All right. So when we imprint this, we need to imprint the mirror image or opposite. So if we want the flower on this side, I mean the butterfly on this side, I'm going to flip it over to the other side and put it on this side of the paper. All right. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to flip this over and put it on this side of the paper. So this is how I want to cut it. So to cut it, these over here. For my Gemini, I have the bottom plate. I have a mat. Then this will go on top. So I have my mat, paper, die cuts, my plastic shim, and then my top plate. And this I will run through the machine. All right, let's bring it back here and see what we ended up with. So we had our plate, plastic shim, which our die cuts are sticking to, our paper, mat, and then other clear plate. So now, as you can see from here, it debossed into the card. Now, if you like this effect better, you absolutely could do it this way. But when we flip it over, now it's embossed. Look at that. That works with any Stampin' Die. Once you figure out the combination of thickness and paper and the plates for your machine, this is absolutely possible. So now what I'm going to do is get the stamping platform. We'll put this on here. Hold that down. Now the stamps will go on top of the raised images. And this you really want to make sure you have lined up right. So I'm going to pick this up and look at it in the light so I can see that it's in a good spot. I think that's good. Okay. Now we'll take the other one and let's see. Are they too close to do it at the same time? Let me do these separately. That's a little close. All right. So we will pick this up. Shift this over a little bit. I'm going to use the regular black ink I use all the time. We'll press down like normal. See how I line that up. That's pretty good. All right, now let me get this one lined up. Now this is a very long stamp, so this might take a minute to make sure it's all straight. So I'm looking straight down and I'm looking at the edge of what's embossed. I'm going to flip it over, make sure I have this straight. Like that. Now the first time you do this, I would suggest using something small, probably nothing bigger than this butterfly, so you can practice lining it up before you try one that's big like this. All right, I think that looks good. So let's take it off and look what we have. So now, even though we press down, it's still all raised. All right. So now all we have to do is color it like normal. Put some scrap paper underneath of it. I have some green for the leaves. I think I'll do... Maybe I'll do a yellow, a purple, and a salmon colored flower. Alright, so there's our butterfly. Now I want to put a little sky behind there. So I'm going to use sea glass and my brush. I'm going to go around the edge here. And because this is raised, you have less of a chance of smudging it. I'm just going to kind of do what I did with the first one, which was I just kind of went around. That's what I'm going to do here. There we go. That looks like sky. Bring in the stamping platform one more time. So I can stamp "Have a Beautiful Birthday" right here. All right, so there we are, all colored. Now I'm going to attach it to this piece of mirror card. And when you glue, you're only going to glue around here. You're not going to glue the part that's embossed. Glue here, around here, on the edge, like that. When you press down, go around all the debossed sides, the flat part that you put the glue on. You want to go in between. There you go. All set to go on a card base. And I will glue this to the card base. There you have it. An embossed stamp. So I hope you give this a try, and it will work with any Stampin' Die that you have. And if you like it, give me a like. And if you want to see the other videos I make, subscribe and you'll get a notification. And until next time, stay crafty.